parked very cleverly next to a small rural cemetery, but in front of me the sign said that over there's no exit. To the left is some kind of a public works, household hazardous waste depot, and I think it says Fowler Construction or something. And I saw a deer just leisurely crossing that dirt road in front of me. It was maybe like, I don't know, 150 meters away. It's too bad I don't have my camera with me. It was just walking, you know, without a care in the world. And over here we have some just private house. Like, who would want to live like this? I don't know. What I mean is that I'm in the middle of nowhere, but not only that, but I'm very far. I'm about, see, that's Huntsville, that Bracebridge, that Washago, whatever, right? And Markham and Toronto, right? So I'm like 3 hours north of Toronto, near this big lake over here. And I got up at 4 o'clock. Okay, I'm lying, 4:15. Because I know I usually need 45 minutes to get going. So I got up at 4:15 and started driving probably at 4:20, and I stopped at the next rest area at 4:01, which I always like to stop there because they have a... Oh, I see another deer. Jeez. Yeah, I guess there's like 1 and 2 houses in here. I see 2, but very far away, like over there on the top where the road starts going up. Like this GoPro, of course, will not show it, but this would be cool, you know, to have a camera. You can take pictures right from the truck. But anyway, so yeah, and I went and grabbed some coffee, did my, you know, morning routine, brushed my teeth, and started going non-stop. Pretty much just like I thought. I was on a 401 on the freeway at 5 o'clock in the morning, and because of the early hour of the day, the traffic was, you know, pretty cool. I just went through Toronto, went north on 400 towards Barrie, and then Bracebridge, and now I'm just south of Huntsville, because they gave me the address. And actually I was worried about this because I was checking the Google Maps on the weekend, because I was concerned about the size of this huge monster loader, you know, because it's 13 feet 6 inches tall. And the weight, for some reason I paid attention to the weight, because the guy put it on the load board at 120,000 pounds. And I was looking at it, you know, kind of like envious, like, shoot, you know, I wish I had more axles. And then eventually I clicked on that listing just to see, you know, like what kind of dimensions are there, just, you know, for me to learn, maybe for my next trailer. And then I see it says Cat 988B, and I go to, you know, Ritchie Brothers specs website, and it says 95,600 pounds, right? And so I call the guy, and he verifies with the Cat, and they said, yeah, it's under 100,000 pounds, so it's 95.6. And somehow I look at the width, and like, you know, it's a loader, right? How bad can it be? Because for me the main concern was, the obstacle was the weight. And then when we signed all the papers, and then I double check the specs, and I see it says 13 feet 6 inches tall. Okay, and I do the math. So my side, because I'm a drop side rail design trailer, my sides are 1 foot 3 inches. So now this machine, if we keep everything on it, like wheels and stuff, is 14.9. And that's not good, because all the bridges on the freeway going south, I'm just taking it like 2 hours south to, not even that, to Ritchie Brothers auction, which happens, and I checked that, like, how urgent is this? And I went online, when is the next auction? It says May 8th. And 8th. The thing is, with that height, you cannot go on the freeway because the bridges are low, so you would have to go on county roads. So more permits will be required, which is fine, but they take 3 business days to issue, right? And so I was thinking about all these possible scenarios, you know, let the air out of tires, but that's ridiculous because this machine is the size of a house, you know, and you don't want to damage the tires. And then I thought, hey, it has a bucket, maybe I'll just push the bucket in the ground, lift the front, and get them to take the wheels off or something, you know. And then a friend of mine asked his friend to do the routing, like how would you go from this place south with this, you know, for being 14.9 tall, and that guy, it's like some kind of a escort pilot car company, and they do route evaluations, and he has a, I'm guessing he has a special software where he can put in, you know, your height, and it tells you which, and so he sent me a list. So even though now they have the spring weight restrictions in these counties, like on the freeway I would be fine, but since I cannot go on the freeway, counties have restrictions, and I thought I wouldn't be able to get a permit, but this guy sends me a list and it's possible, so it's doable. You just need to do a bunch of detours. And so I came here because they said Madill Church Road south of Huntsville, and there's a bunch of places here, but I even emailed one guy, found the website of one company over there that looked promising, you know, from the street view in Google Maps. I found their website, I found the contact us, you know, email. I sent him an email, said, guys, do you have this big cat over there? And the guy says, wrong person. Okay, and so I drove 3 hours. I got to that exact address they gave me, and it says it's a rock. It's one of those companies, you know, they sell rocks of different shape and like, you know, that you want to place, let's say, in your yard or something, right? Or it's like a rock farm, so to speak, right? So there's a quarry somewhere here, and so I guess these guys buy it from over there, and then they they do something with them, and then they make them look nice, you know, and they sell these big rocks. And sometimes these guys use big machines, but I checked the address, yeah, exact address that I have on my paperwork. So I go inside, drive in, and they all look at me, you know, like this huge truck with 4XL trailer, 4XL truck. And I come out, I say, hey, I'm looking for a 988B. You guys are hiding it somewhere? Where? They're all laughing. They never, you know, because it's a huge machine. You know, you see one, you like, you know, you would remember. And they said that this quarry that's somewhere here, he said the owner used to have a machine like that, right? And the thing is, my paperwork has no phone number, no company name. It just says the shipper is Caterpillar. You know, and there's no Caterpillar dealer here. And so I call the broker, he's not working today. I call the dispatch who gave me this load, oh, I will call you back. Nobody's calling me back. So what do you do? Like, I call, if it says shipper is, you know, Toromont, which is the exclusive dealer, cat dealer in Ontario and Manitoba, and I just passed them. I passed them on the way here because they're 57 miles south, 90 kilometers south on 11 in Aurelia, which is the town 1 hour south, right? And I had this idea. I wanted to stop and actually ask him if, you know, how difficult it is to take the wheels off or tires off, because I've been thinking about this huge height, right? A whole weekend it was my mental project, you know, how to load this thing, because, you know, I'm responsible for this, right? I cannot afford to destroy bridges or, you know, kill freight brokers, even innocent bystanding freight brokers, you know. So you got to be careful. And I wanted to stop, honest to God, and I'm passing and I'm looking, cat, but I thought, no, I promised this guy to be here at 8. I'll be here at 8, and I was here 7:45. You see? So this is just tells you, like, the broker supplies wrong information. The trucker wakes up at 4 o'clock, does everything possible to, you know, basically to be a good boy and fulfill his obligations under the contract, right? We said loading 8 o'clock. Okay. So basically, since these guys are not calling me, the guy is not in the office, like his colleagues, it's a big company, his colleagues are not calling me back. Oh, we're trying to get into his computer, read his email to find out if like if there's any phone numbers. No, they cannot find any phone numbers. But I'll call you back. and he never does. Anyway, so I call, since I know all these cat dealers, actually that one in Aurelia, I used to deliver there quite often, you know, I know that place. And of course Google Maps, that's the beauty of the internet, you know. That's why you cannot have a regular GPS. You need to see that magic LTE, high-speed internet. And that's where I am. Drive toward Gun Club Road. Wow. See, like I'm in the middle of nowhere, like literally. But why I stopped here, because I was afraid to go forward, and I figured at least this way, you know, I can go back, and then I can go forward and then I can back from the driver's side, which is for me is relatively easy, and then turn and go back to the freeway. And so I called them. I called the Toramont Cat. I explained to them the situation. I say 988B, and I have the serial number. I give them the serial number, and they confirm that yeah, there's no Toramont Cat over here, because that's the only one, you know. It's, like I said, 57 miles south. And the lady was very nice, very helpful on the phone. She says, let me call one of our cat salespeople that is responsible for selling used machinery in that area, because I told her where I am, right? And Cat was super nice, you see. And so she calls me, she says, I'll call you back. She calls me back 10 minutes later. Oh, I heard the beep in my ear because my phone is connected. And so she calls me back and she says, is this Sergei? I said, yeah. We have it here. I said, what do you mean? Oh, that machine is in our yard. I said, shoot, I passed you. I was looking at you. I wanted to stop. I didn't. She says, yeah, I just talked to our yard supervisor, and he did not check the serial number yet, but you don't see many of these around. He says it's an old Cat 988B. It's over there. And I said, oh, maybe it's a good thing that it's at the dealer, you know, because the dealer has all kinds of tools and machines, right? They deal with the big equipment. Those guys over there, you know, they have excavators, humongous loaders, everything. So I said, actually, that's you know, silver lining in this cloud of Monday morning, because I said, maybe you can help me and take the wheels off, you know, or flatten the tires. I said, I cannot be 14.9, because that's the easiest solution for me would be, is because I already have an annual permit. An annual permit allows me up to 14 feet from the ground. I don't need any other permits, right? The only thing is, I'm limited how wide I can be. I think it's like 11 feet on my permit, and my length and my weight. But I cannot change the height on the permit, you know, with an amendment. So now if I only need to change the length, like do like a quick amendment to my annual permit, let's say I'm longer or I'm wider and heavier, all I do is just do a quick fax in amendment, where you, like what we did with that loaner lowboy and the Jeep I did when I had to switch trailers, remember? So this crane guy, he showed me how it's done. You just print out the form, you fill it out, put your Visa card in there, and depending on how many kilometers you need, it's like either 200 or 260 bucks, but it's immediate. As soon as you fax it, it's immediate. And the best part is that with being 14 feet tall, I can travel on the freeway. So it's much faster. And I can start driving as soon as I load. Whereas if I have to go on county highways, it'll take, you know, they even say sometimes it can take 5 business days. So basically I would have to sit there on my butt until Friday, you know. And so actually I'm excited, and I just decided to share it with you guys just to show you how loads works, you know, how loads work in the trucking. So you book a load, you get wrong address with no phone number, no shipper, then you call the potential shipper, Toramont Cat, and they say, yeah, the machine is here. So now I'm adding 114 miles to my travel miles, and I sent an email to the broker. I said, there's going to be a penalty on my final invoice for this, okay? But again, you got to be optimistic. You got to look on the bright side. And for me, the huge bright side is that I would hate to deal with this machine in, you know, in the field somewhere, right? But at the dealer, it's easy. So these guys, you know, they're magicians. They can do anything. And actually, the lady that called me, she says, I'm not even sure this machine has wheels on. I said, really? Then it's cool, you know. So they can pick it up with 2 excavators, just lower it on blocks, and off I go into the sunset. Let's start driving, and I'll show you guys what this machine looks like in person, but it's huge. And I'm southbound on Highway 11. I think I'm passing Bracebridge, Ontario. And it's a freeway, and so the dealer is, what is that, 50 kilometers? 64 kilometers, 40 miles. South of me, and the office of the broker finally called me back just to tell me they still cannot find the broker that gave me that load. Basically, they have no additional information. And I said, don't worry about it. I found the machine. I'm heading to the dealer. I just need to confirm the serial number. And we're good. Yeah, I see the sign on the right says Bracebridge, population 16,000, 3 interchanges. And actually, I'm familiar with this town because I've been here quite a few times picking up those big rubber, you know, coils, that conveyor belting, right? That I took to US. But now we're going still further south, closer to Toronto. And again, it's a good thing that I'm loading at the dealer, you know. I really hope they don't have the wheels on that thing. Like, if they ship the wheels by a flatbed truck, that would kind of like, you know, answer my prayers. If they can put it on blocks on my trailer and just ship the wheels and then just send the truck to install the wheels, this would be the easiest solution for everybody. This is it. This is the machine. This is 12 feet wide. Check out the tires. The tires are almost my height. 988B, made in Peoria, Illinois. And I climbed on the top and double checked, and it's 13.6. And now I'm just waiting for the verdict. I told them that the forks cannot go. They put extra forks, you know, this goes to an auction, and they said this what goes, this and the forks. I said, it's, you know, it's oversized load, you cannot have 2 pieces. If it's divisible, you can only have 1 piece. And so I said, since it's already here, maybe you guys can take the wheels off, right? And or maybe we can drain the tires. But of course, look at these tires. He says, how much do you need to lose in height? I said 9 inches. And right away he said no, like, just to put blocks under and drain the tires, it's not gonna give you 9 inches. So for sure, if they want me to leave today, they have to take the wheels off. And if they because if they don't take them off, I can drive like that, but then I'd have to go on county highways, 2-lane highways, to bypass all the bridges on the freeway. And then I will need a special permit, and those permits right now, I just talked to my permit company, they said they will take up to 5 business days. And so that's, I said, either I order the permits, I come back in 5 days, or you take the wheels off and I'm leaving now. So now they're talking to the CAT Finance who actually owns this machine. It's basically it's a repossession. They repossessed it, and so the guys over here, they don't make any financial decisions. They say if we need to take the wheels off, it's we need a PO. If we need to remove the forks, we need a PO. And so for now I'm stranded, but at least I found the machine, right? It's exactly 57 miles south of the place where they sent me, which is not too bad, right? So it was only 57 miles, but I went that way and then I came back, so 114 miles. You know, I was sitting here waiting. I thought they were doing something because they were moving these small utility trailers. They were parked next to the big loader. But no, they're just doing the yard work. And then the guy comes out and he says, "Oh, they said you can go." I said, "What do you mean? Shall I order the permits?" You know, and come back when the permits are issued. They said, no, for now they're not sure what they want to do, because you said you cannot take the attachments. I said, yeah, that's what I said. Unfortunately, it's not me, it's the MTO, DOT. You know, you cannot have extra weight on an overweight machine if you can reduce the weight. And they said, well, they're gonna figure out what to do. So for now, they decided to they'll come back to this at a later date. And I said, well, somebody has to pay for, you know, I just calculated from my parking place. The broker gave me a wrong address, right? I went to Huntsville, Ontario, and now I came back here, which is right on the way back to my home. So it's like up and down and then west, right? And back to my home area. And I said, that's 335 miles or 536 kilometers, you know. So that's a lot of empty miles just for nothing. So I said, so basically you guys canceling the load. If you're canceling the load, somebody has to pay for these miles. And so I called the broker, said, this is the deal. But they want me to leave and they have no idea when they're going to be shipping this again. And the guy said, okay, sit tight, let me just make some phone calls. Because, you know, he's losing money too, right? Because he was expecting to get a, you know, paycheck out of this, and now I'm telling him that the load is canceled. So he wants to verify that. And also I told him, I said, somebody has to pay for, you know, truck ordered, not used. And he said, okay, let's deal with one problem at a time. So problem one is the load, is it canceled or non-canceled? Like, what are they doing? And problem two, if it's canceled, he says, then we'll deal with the truck ordered, not used. So for now, the broker is dealing with problem number one, trying to find out what the customer, the ultimate customer, wants to do. And the thing why it's so complicated is that there's a bunch of brokers involved. And just like that, I'm back in a good mood, because that was the broker, and the broker says that these guys, you know, since they don't own the machine, so they have no idea what's going on. Like that guy, the broker has, he's talking to the actual owner, whoever hired them. So yeah, the forks don't go. He says, don't worry about the forks. The wheels are staying. So basically, all I gotta do now is just order the permits as soon as possible, and as soon as they're issued, I send the receipt to the broker. The broker says he'll be willing to pay me for these, like for the cost of the permits, and they should not be more than, I don't know, maybe 400 bucks Canadian. And as soon as the permits are issued, I'll come back here. And so yeah, I said, this way, if I'm doing this load, I don't need you to pay me for any like truck ordered, not used. So the truck is, well, I needed to see it anyway, just double check the measurements, because, you know, it's a big load. So yeah, I did a bunch of miles, but what do you do? At least I still have the load, so I'm coming back as soon as the permits are issued. Okay, so there'll be a continuance to this exciting blockbuster, so stay tuned. But this will be my biggest load yet, you know, at 95,000 pounds. So it's gonna be an exciting video when I start rolling with this thing, you know. Thanks for watching.